Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are going to be talking a little bit about our favorite and maybe some of our least favorite holiday entertainment this season. Now, to join me for that, well, first of all, I'm Rhino, in case anyone didn't know that. I feel like if you're watching this, you did already know that. But to join me for this discussion, we've got Steve Porter.
Hello.
And
Katrina
Michaela. Sorry. Katrina.
Michaela.
Oh, my goodness. I was looking at Steve, thinking about it. Hey, Michaela, how you doing? Yeah. I'm
fine.
really confusing people right now. Sorry, Katrina.
It's okay.
Thanks for flying in for me to insult you by calling you the wrong woman. At least it was me and not Steve. Tyler Crouch.
How you doing, everybody?
And we've got the man in the back who makes it happen, Craig Williams.
The man in the bag.
The man in the bag, the big red bag.
Yeah.
I was going to call you the Grinch, but I felt like it was too mean. Okay. You're not really a Grinch. He loves Christmas. So I thought it would be fun if we took a little bit of time here to just talk about what our favorite holiday entertainment is. Like I said, now that is not going to be limited to Disney-related entertainment, though. So we talk about stuff in the parks. We talk about the Christmas party, all the happenings around Disney World, Disneyland, and wherever else around the world any of us are lucky to go to. But I thought it would be fun to be like, what are the things that we like to do when we are at home in our house watching the television, trying to get in the Christmas spirit? Yes. So I'm going to start. I would like us to talk about movies first. So maybe everybody could give me some of their Christmas movies. We'll start off with just one first. I'm going to go first, Steve. Excuse you. The obvious choice, the number one Christmas movie of all time, Gremlins.
Oh,
That's
that one was
crazy.
on my list. Yeah.
I can't think of it as a Christmas movie, but okay.
It literally starts with one of my favorite Christmas songs, which is Darlene Love's Christmas, Baby Come Home, or Baby Please Come Home. But I just, when I was a little kid, we had this recorded from television too, so it was edited down. I realized years later watching it, I didn't see the gremlin in the microwave scene until I was like 22 years old. But we had a VHS. And lucky for me, some of those VHS commercials were left in. So there was a lot of Dick Tracy McDonald's commercials in there that are
awesome.
very unique. Yeah. And so we'd watch this all the time. Like, I watch this any time of the year, but it's very weird to like look back on it and think like the person who was like, you know what it would make, what season should this like kind of scary movie take place at? They're like, Christmas. Billy should be getting this mogwai that wreaks havoc when it becomes a gremlin on the town of Kingston Falls.
Well, it's like a good juxtaposition, you know, like Christmas is supposed to be like the happiest time of year. And then, of course, things go wrong around the entire city with people getting murdered by horrible monsters and things like that. So
I just like it. You know what? It's weird. This movie really reminds me because the movie is covered in snow. And oddly enough, filmed at California at the Universal Studios Hollywood Park. Some of it has been. I have visited Mrs. Deakel's house at the Warner Brothers studio tour as well. When I was like, I know this house, but the square that was in Back to the Future is the square that is the opening of the movie, is the town center of Kingston Falls. So it's like one of those weird. A lot of movies I saw as a kid were in that like one little spot right there. But I just love. I don't know. It's like there's Christmas music in it, but I also, you know, their house is so well decorated and
yeah. I don't know. Gizmo is a Christmas present to Billy.
Yeah.
And you have, why can't I think of her name, tell her story about how Christmas is
Phoebe
terrible.
Cates.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates. Yeah. How Christmas is terrible because, spoiler alert, her dad died on Christmas. So
in the chimney.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to give that much away. I wasn't going to go into the gory details on this Christmas day with it. But even if you think like, oh no, it's going to be this scary monster movie, they do enough to bring in Christmas elements into it. So that way it always keeps it. It's not just one of those movies. It's like, oh, it's a Christmas movie now because it takes place around Christmas. It has it running through it from start to finish.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Plus, it's got a nice. I don't know. I like that it's got like the Scrooge-esque villain in Mrs. Deagle, and Kate is her name, by the way, too.
Yeah.
But who doesn't love Judge Reinhold in a movie too? But
that's true.
You fight me on this all you want. It's definitely like I have a macabre sense of Christmas. But Steve, you were raising your hand pretty aggressively. What's the one you were going to say?
My favorite Christmas movie is it's two, Home Alone 1 and 2. specifically. I love the theme song. Every time I hear the theme song from Home Alone, I immediately think of Christmas. And
somewhere in my memory.
Yeah, right. I like how the kind of like the lesson of the movie too is he always has like that, whether it's the bird lady or the neighbor across the street, like the person that he doesn't trust right away, but then he ends up like sharing Christmas with them. I don't know, it's just like a kind of like a sweet undertone of the movie that's about,
except for that poor homeless lady is still homeless at the end of that second movie. Well, we assume that she got in contact with her son and he helped her out at the end.
She's got her bird. She's good.
Yeah. She's got a bird.
Well, and that little like hideaway that she has above the theater is like, hey, that was kind of cool.
Kind of a good place.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love that movie. I think it's, again, like, it's not like a pure Christmas movie in that the main concern is like dealing with like protecting the house is like the main goal. It's not like purely the
soundtrack, like you said, the not only the John Williams score is great, that main theme is great, but it's got classic, like, it's Christmas songs in there, because you've got Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, the Brenda Lee version, and I always think about doo-doo-doo, burp, 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 when he's shaving and he slaps on the shaving cream, and it's also about how that was his Christmas wish, kind of, was that his family would disappear, and he got his wish. And then it's that other side, that flip side of how he's getting really lonely when it gets to Christmas. Plus, the actual break-in happens on Christmas Eve, does it not?
Yeah, that's like
Well, that's the whole reason that they're robbing the city or the neighborhood, because everybody's out of town for Christmas. So, and of course you can't forget my favorite line from the entire movie: "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Come on, Catherine O'Hara's the mom. I thought you were going to say my favorite line, Kevin.
Both Rhino and I agree on Buzz, your girlfriend.
Woof.
That's a good one.
The girl that they used in the picture was actually, they dressed a boy up like a girl.
It was
Buzz.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Steve's a big fan of the fifth incarnation of the movie starring French Stewart, but
not so much.
I don't think I've ever seen that one, actually.
I thought you were going to say Home Alone, period. I will excuse you not seeing the French Stewart one. I can't watch the first one
anymore because of the spiders, or like the tarantula.
The tarantula, yeah.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I don't think there's anybody that would argue against Home Alone being a great Christmas movie, especially the first one. I do like the second one, too. I saw the second one in the movie theater. I remember that being like a Christmas present.
I actually like the second Home Alone more.
I understand it. There was a lot of... No,
I actually kind of agree with you.
Yeah. I was in that age range where, kind of like you just mentioned, I saw the first one on VHS, but I saw the second one in theaters. Yeah. And like the Talk Boy was marketed directly to all of us.
I got a Talk
age.
Boy that Christmas.
Yeah, so did I, too. I think everyone did. So, but then as I grew older... I think I liked the second one more as a kid, but then as I grew older, it's all of those like actual being at home for Christmas elements that I ended up liking it more. I mean, it really made me want to go to New York City for Christmas, but now that I'm older, I prefer the first one. But as a kid, that was the one that I saw in the theaters and I became mesmerized with. Not the first one we just watched at home on VHS.
I would agree with that too. I remember thinking like, oh, it's so cool because, for Christmas every year we kind of got taken to a movie. And that's how I ended up accidentally seeing the third one as well in the theater. I was not too old for it, but I was just... The movie I wanted to see was sold out, so I ended up watching that.
Yeah, I'm not going to include that in my...
Yeah,
I'm not going to include the third one in my list.
Yeah.
Just the fourth and fifth one, huh?
No.
Which is about Kevin again, but it makes no sense because like the parents are divorced now, and it's just I don't want to deal with that. And he's younger in those ones than he is in the first one. Whatever. We're not even going to get into the continuity of the Home Alone franchise.
I had no idea.
I think I gave up after 3. I don't know.
Well, what about you, Katrina?
Oh my gosh, I'm tied between 2.
Okay, give us one first, and we'll talk about the other one after.
Okay, I'll have to do White Christmas. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would watch this every year, and I'd be like, "Oh, Mom, I can't do this movie. It's so boring." And then when I got older, probably around like 9 or 10, I started getting into it with my mom, and I totally love it just because of Bing Crosby and his voice, and then the dancing and the singing.
I have a confession.
So beautiful.
You've never seen it?
No.
Boo.
Neither have I.
I know. My friend in high school, Shaylin Walsh, she used to talk about it all the time, And I remember being like, I'm going to watch this movie someday. And I unfortunately have let her down so many years later still.
So beautiful.
I'm in the same boat kind of as Katrina. This was my mom's movie, and I think she would watch it with my grandpa and on my dad's side. So it was bonding between different families. And so this was like my mom's movie, and I think I grew up like not wanting to give it a chance because of that. But then finally when I did discover it, it's like, oh, there are reasons why this is on 19 times a year during the holidays, because it's awesome. So, forget about what Bing Crosby may or may not have done in his personal life. As an entertainer, the man is a genius.
Oh my god!
Did he do something bad in his personal life? Well, I'm going to Google that later.
He might have hit his kids with a bag of Valencia oranges. They made a joke about it on Family Guy, and then when you do the Google search, like, did this happen? It's like, it probably did happen.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay.
Keep it in the holiday spirit, though. At least Santa leaves oranges in your stockings, so there you go. It all ties back together.
That's that's from the Depression. I learned that on The Middle. That there was an episode where they talk about, they were yelling about why you leave the orange in the stocking.
Steve vacationed in the Hamptons for Christmas, so he was getting Rolexes in his stocking.
We're making up your backstory. We imagine you to be like the Kevin McAllister of the North. Kevin's mansion that he lived in.
Yeah, I like how they
so
just rush over that.
Yeah.
It's like he lives in a massive
that whole
house.
neighborhood they're robbing. That neighborhood might have deserved it, but we won't get into those semantics.
Oh my
but
Yikes.
What's your favorite song from White Christmas?
See, and it's not White Christmas. I think it's Sisters with Rosemary Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
And in the end, well, they did at the beginning and the end to pay respects to the general. And it always gets me at the end. I start crying at the end when everybody pays respects to the general. So you need to watch this.
I have a
It's
question
so
about the
beautiful.
movie itself, though, because from the clips and the things I've seen of the movie, I haven't not seen any of it. But is it a movie? Like, or is it an actual, like, it has a plot line?
It's got a plot and everything.
Because all the things I've seen make it look like it's just not, I don't want to say like just a videotape, but it looks like it was like, oh, we're in a theater and these people are putting on a presentation and that is the movie?
That's the end.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Then that's what I saw.
So
It's a love story.
Yeah.
In a way.
And so essentially, Bing and his partner Danny Kaye. I can't remember Danny Kaye's name in the movie, and I can't remember Bing's, so it's fine. I'll just call them by their real names. They are in the war together, and then they end up, after the war is over, they stay together as a partnership and they do their act together.
Wallace.
Yeah.
And Phil Davis.
Thank you. And so they're doing their act together, and then they also meet up with a sister duo, which is Rosemary Clooney and Tyler. Silencio.
It was.
I thought that was the name of the other person. I was like,
I don't understand what happened because I
thought he
put
said
my watch
Tyler,
on.
and I was like, Tyler, what an interesting name.
It's just so people don't think they're going nuts. So one's not watching. It's like, oh, did I get a notification? Where's it coming from?
I definitely had it on.
Christmas.
I had it on Do Not Disturb, and it turned itself off for some. Anyway, let's
Betty
move on.
and Judy Haynes.
Yeah. So the Haynes sisters,
duo.
they're on their way to Vermont. Where they are
They're booked for the holidays.
Yes.
They're like the
Thank you.
entertainment.
At this inn that is run by the general, who was the general of Bing and Danny Kaye, and they're doing terrible because there's absolutely no snow for the holiday season. But they're making the best of it, and so then they want to pay tribute to the general by getting together all the old war buddies and putting on a big show in his honor. And during the end, you know what happens. Yeah. They open up the barn doors. Well,
is that are they singing "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas" when that happens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's like a little romance in between there too, and
Yeah.
like
Cute.
yeah. I love it. It's
Tyler?
a nice, good Christmas.
What do you? Sorry,
It's a good Christmas.
I'm done with this one. What do you?
I'm done with it too.
you should
so.
watch it.
I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try.
It's honestly, I'm kind of with 10-year-old Katrina, where I'm like, oh boy, I'm kind of rolling my eyes at it. I don't know, it's
And
not my
adult
thing.
Katrina, I roll back at Tyler.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that.
You guys are saying 10-year-olds roll their eyes because I am a full-fledged adult who still rolls his eyes incredibly heavy.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that ever goes away. I'm just saying I'm like a 10-year-old Katrina because she was saying she didn't like the movie. When she was
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Way to bring it full circle.
Anyway, so I have a few here that I kind of want to say.
Give me one first. We'll come back.
The one that and it's not necessarily a Christmas movie per se, but it's got so much Christmas going through it. I feel like it's kind of my favorite on this list. Anyway, Trading Places. Trading Places. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Trading Places, for anybody that doesn't know, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, and it's about these rich brothers who make a bet with each other that they couldn't get Eddie Murphy to take over Dan Aykroyd's position. They could make Dan Aykroyd become this drug-induced, homeless man, and they could make Eddie Murphy be like the best in the stock market. And of course, the whole movie comes full circle. I guess I won't say much more than that, but probably my favorite scene in the entire movie is when Dan Aykroyd he's hitting his low spot, and he comes in to a party that the brothers are throwing in just the worst, grossest Santa suit you've ever seen in your life. And he's just drunk out of his mind, and he steals a bunch of food from the buffet, puts a salmon down his shirt, and then just starts eating the salmon, like this raw salmon. It's like the grossest thing ever, but it's an amazing scene in that movie. And so it's just moments like that make that movie super memorable. I mean, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy are fantastic in it, and even Jamie Lee Curtis is in that movie, and she's great too. Yeah, she's really good in that.
She's a promiscuous female with a happy ending. I'll just say that.
Wow.
I'll put it in that term. And everyone knows that, like, even though it's not when it gets super Christmassy yet, but like right in the beginning, it used to be a part of the great movie ride when Eddie Murphy's getting arrested, and there's all the like 6 officers standing around him holding guns. Is there a problem, officer?
Yeah.
There are so many funny. And then it can also be taken into a New Year's moment because it kind of goes into New Year's.
That's true.
By the end of the movie. So if you can't watch it like right before Christmas, I feel like you can watch it right around New Year's, and you still it's a nice transition between the two holidays. But and then if you want more of the brothers, the older brothers, you can then see them later on in Coming to America. They make a little cameo in that as well.
That's true.
Follow up on their lives.
Well, what about you, Craig?
Okay, well, listen, you wanted to keep this interesting. I'm going to keep it interesting because in plenty of shows before I've talked about Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm sure at some point in time we're going to mention all the other classics like Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story.
Oh my gosh, I completely left that off my list by accident.
I put that on my list.
Okay, good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many that are like ubiquitous with the holidays anymore. And lately, the past couple of years, I've been trying to go back and watch the classics. And the stuff that I didn't really grow up with per se, but I wanted to start making a tradition. And I think that my one that I'm really starting to enjoy every year, and I am straight, and I have a wife, and we're very happy. But I love Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland. So this is where the song debuted. My favorite Christmas song, I think, of all time.
He's a friend of
Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So the original sad version before Frank Sinatra turned it into a happy, endearing song. In the Judy Garland version, it's all about their family is potentially having to move, and they don't know where they're going to be next year, but they're trying to make at least the best they can of the Christmas that they're currently having. And it's not just only during Christmas it takes place, but this is where this song debuted, and it is my favorite version of the song. It's easily my favorite Christmas song. Even the changed version with Frank, it doesn't matter who sings it. Mel Torme, they're all good, but if you only watch the movie for this one moment, it is perfect for that.
Cool. Never seen it before.
I have not either.
Don't remember
I'm familiar
that
with some of the scenes
right.
from it. But
clang, clang, clang goes the trolley.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Ding, ding, ding goes the bell.
Yeah. But
in the Liza Minnelli version.
Yeah, no, it's like
Mama, do you love me?
Sorry. I watch the TCM Christmas block. So like on Christmas Eve, they do basically 3 movies every single year. You always know they're going to play it. They do that. They do Christmas in Connecticut, which is also incredibly amazing. I'm not going to go into that, but if you haven't seen it before, watch it. And then The Bishop's Wife and those are like. There's a reason why they show all three of those every single Christmas Eve. They're really, really good movies.
See, my wheelhouse is in the 80s and 90s, and I know that's terrible, and I'm not saying they're great or anything like that, but they're like I don't. There's not really a Christmas that goes by where Tim Allen's voice isn't present for me. Like it's this, whether I watch like the Santa Claus or even like Toy Story. I know it's not a Christmas movie, but it came out around Christmas when it came out, and it starts or it ends at Christmas. But
Home Improvement episodes. One of my favorite TV moments of all time is the youngest Taylor is in the choir at the church, and they are supposed to spell out Noel, but they get their order wrong, and so they go up into the front and it spells out Leon. Who's the first Leon? So it's just throwing that in there.
No, I mean, I remember seeing the Santa Claus in the movie theaters when I was a kid. My mom, I think, had seen it without me because, like, why not when you've got 4 kids go to a children's Christmas movie alone? So she wanted to make sure that we saw it too. So she went back and saw it again, and she just, I don't know, it was one of those things that she always likes when things matched her initials. So his name is Scott Calvin, and my name is
SC.
Ryan Clavin, and it was always SC. So I remember that there was a whole Sandra Clavin could be Santa Claus, and that sort of. My mom loved to create these weird half-brained conspiracy theories in relation to Christmas, but it reminds me very specifically, I remember where I was. I remember living in my childhood home. I remember we always used to do that sort of thing. Like my uncle is famous in my family for having seen Santa Claus's foot go up the chimney, so that was a big deal.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we're of that lineage. How dare you, Tyler? Of course he saw it. Don't question reality.
I'm sure he thinks he saw that.
He drank a lot of eggnog, and then he saw Santa.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I for me, the Santa Claus, Bernard the terrible elf who killed Lucy on ER, and he, there's a lot of weird things in that movie, and that movie is probably not amazing, but again, Judge Reinhold, Gremlins, it all comes full circle for me. You got another one, Steve, that you like?
Movie wise?
Yeah. No, he only likes one
movies.
movie. No. Tyler, you have another one that's
I'll
really
say another one
that I like.
Yeah, another one that I really like, and it's a retelling of a very popular Christmas story, which is Scrooged. Scrooged is it's basically the Charles Dickens
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol, exactly. I don't know why I was
Don't let
blanking
him
on
harass you. I forgot the name of it the other day, and he got angry at me too.
I don't know why I forgot it, but anyway, it's basically Christmas Carol, but it is, Bill Murray is a jerk, and he's a TV producer, and it's about making him realize that it's not all about money and not all about.
Oh. Yeah, I remember watching this movie as a kid being like, I'm pretty sure I'm too young to be watching this Christmas movie.
It's really messed up. And it's weird because the first ghost is like a taxi driver.
Bobcat Goldthwait?
No,
it's Benicio del Toro.
And there's just really bizarre. The ghost of the future is scary, at least for me at that time, So, but it is one of those movies that is funny, but it keeps it fresh because it's new enough. It's not exactly like A Christmas Carol. So,
I'm looking up, and it's weird. I always very specifically remember Carol Kane being the ghost of Christmas Present because she slams him in the head with the toaster.
Yeah, she's great.
These knives are from that movie too. There's a stupid infomercial. There's something he talks about, a story about knives that can cut soda cans.
Yeah, those Cutco knives are very sharp though, so I probably wouldn't just wave it around like
Steve
that.
had it here just in case.
I did not have that here, and earlier in the day he's swinging around towards my face.
Hey, I didn't bring this into the fight, but it's here.
No one make
In
him
his
mad.
defense, he was aiming for your neck.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, I remembered another one.
Filthy animal.
I remembered my movie.
What?
If we can move on. Well, once you're done.
Oh, well, I was going to talk about how all these people were in the movie that I didn't even realize as a kid with these things. But and you clearly have no respect for Scrooged.
No.
He doesn't like it.
I've never seen it.
If you're going to bring it up, you have to do a Bobcat voice with it all the time.
I can't do the voice.
No.
I can't do it good enough.
It's fine. Okay.
Nice try.
He sounds like my niece Clara. She does Uncle Ryan.
He's just yelling all
Does
the
it sound like
time.
when I'm excited or something?
Christmas. No, he's got like that shake in his voice. Like, Tyler and Katrina here. And
that was pretty good, actually.
Really nervous.
But I think he used to put that voice on, honestly, because like you see him, because he still does things
like kind of deep too. So.
Yeah, but he still does things in the industry now, and he doesn't sound like that anymore. So it's funny.
I was always like, man, that guy's must have been electrocuted or something because his nerves are fried. But
So what's Steve's?
Yeah. Elf. I love Elf. It's not like a highbrow choice, but I think it's really an enjoyable movie.
I tried to resist this movie for a long time, like when it first came out, because I did not like Will Ferrell at all when it came out, and I have been turned. I've been converted.
It's so great.
Yeah,
It's a cute movie.
I'm with you though that I'm not. Well, I guess you've changed, but I was
no,
never,
not on Will Ferrell.
Okay,
the movie.
I'm not a Will Ferrell fan, but I think that this movie is one of his best movies.
Well, I love Bob Newhart's role as like his like adoptive father.
Yeah,
in the
that's
movie
great,
too.
and he's like sitting on his lap, and
Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I'm the negative Nancy on this. I love all Will Ferrell movies, even the really terrible ones.
Like
I
Kicking
hate
and
Elf.
Screaming?
Yeah,
What do you dislike?
Will Ferrell
We're
Get
going
them
to
to
eat
the
Byung Song.
Italians.
We're going to eat him.
What do you dislike about Elf? I'm
Oh,
curious.
everything. I hate that they had to give Zoe Deschanel a song in it. I don't like.
That was pre her singing days.
Yeah, I
though.
still don't care. I still don't care. I don't like it. I don't enjoy his personality in it. I don't enjoy him acting like a child in that.
That's the point, though.
Yes, I get that's the point. I don't care for it. I find it obnoxious. I think Robert Duvall's character in it is
not Robert Duvall.
God.
Oh my gosh,
It's like he wants to be Robert Duvall essentially, but he's not.
I'm not sure.
he's got it. Con. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord, what the heck?
James Caan.
James Caan.
James
Yeah,
Caan,
I was
thank
like,
you.
not. I
was like,
was
the
gonna say
Godfather.
Scott, and I was like,
Yeah.
nope, wrong one. Like,
Yeah, I don't like him in that. I think his brother is just really annoying. The only redeeming part of it for me is Mary
Asner.
Steenburgen. And no, I don't even. Ed Asner's
Asner's-
okay.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
But-
He was hilarious.
Yeah, well, he is a good part in that. Like
He makes it.
that's the one funny part of it. I don't. It's one that I have never cared for. I have always loved Will Ferrell, and it's just from the first time I saw this movie to now, Kylie puts it on, and it is the bane of my existence every Christmas season.
my goodness.
Oh, man.
wow.
Hatred.
Well, on that note, Katrina, do you have another movie
I
you want to?
I do.
Is it a Will Ferrell movie?
Gosh, I
No.
hope not.
I was like, is he having any other
It
ones?
would
No.
be Step Brothers. They have a Christmas
Oh, that
segment.
is a Christmas movie in a way. Yeah, no. I didn't really like Step Brothers. But anyway.
I didn't either.
Anyway, Miracle on 34th Street. But the 1994 version.
Oh, shut up!
Not the 50s. What?
She likes the guy from Jurassic Park. She likes him.
True. Richard Attenborough. Like, I mean, I could relate more to like the
She likes
newer one.
Matilda.
I did like Matilda. And then Elizabeth Perkins, too, because she was in Big.
And who was the lawyer from American Horror Story?
Oh, my gosh. What's his name?
And the practice. Everybody's
I know,
This
now
is
I'm
just
gonna,
turning
look
out
it
to
up
be
now.
a show of us not knowing who was in the
I know.
movies
He
that
was
we
in
love.
what now?
Well, clearly we don't
I
love
know.
them that much. That's
Dylan
No.
McDermott.
Dylan McDermott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dumbfounded. I have never met anyone who's like, I prefer the 1994 version over the classic.
I do like
I just-
Richard Attenborough.
I don't know. It just, I could relate more because the 94, I think I was like, when I was younger, black and white movies were not in my
It's hard to watch them
wheelhouse
when you're a kid.
like them. So with this one, I could relate to all of the actors and I knew who they were. And so like that VHS like cover thing is like ruined because I used to watch it almost every single
the
day.
preview of that movie is on another really popular movie when we were kids. Like, and I remember always being like, "Oh, put that one in."
Yeah.
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 I can't remember what it is. It might be Matilda. It might be like that was
Yeah,
the
who
preview that
knows?
led into Matilda. It's another the girl who I keep calling Matilda.
Mara Wilson?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
another Mara Wilson movie that it's on. But I remember being like, "Ooh,
Mrs. Doubtfire?
it's Christmas now. Let's
no,
watch
it can't be Mrs. Doubtfire because
It doesn't matter. The VHS
she'd
tape
be
is
younger at
irrelevant.
that point. But anyway, I don't know. I like it. It's my Christmas movie. And then all the, I don't know. I just think it's cool.
Okay, whenever they talk about the Macys, this is my confession. Whenever we talk about the Macys parade at Universal Studios, I am only thinking about the 1994 Miracle on 34th Street. I know that's terrible of me, but it's all I can think about.
I think that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Okay. I know it's like, oh, I can't believe you're not thinking about the original thing or anything like that, but I always think that Universal is celebrating that movie secretly, even though it's like a Fox movie, but it's fine.
I actually have one more that I could, if I don't want to, we don't need to talk about it too much.
Can we all agree on
No, if you have one that you want to mention, that you want people to know that you watch, go right ahead, Tyler.
I just thought about it a little bit ago. Bad Santa.
No.
Oh, that's a.
I disagree with
that was John Ritter's. I think that was John Ritter's last movie that he was in before he passed away.
I think it was posthumously, actually.
Yeah, I think it was released. He died in September, and I think that came out that December.
And Bernie Mac is in that movie too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to. That's what I would put on after it came out for a couple of years when I would wrap presents like at 2 a.m. before Christmas morning. That's what I would put on and watch because it would keep me awake laughing.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's hilarious. I mean, just the way that Billy Bob Thornton is like great in that movie, and I wish I knew.
I think he wrote that movie too. I think, or like
Did he?
directed it or
I didn't
something.
know that.
Yeah,
but the blonde kid that is following him around everywhere is like perfect. Like the perfect casting all across that entire movie. I feel like.
That being said, do not watch the sequel, and do not let your kids watch either of them. They are hard
bad.
R.
I was just going to ask you guys about the second one or not, because I know that one came out like recently.
I mean, the little
wasn't as
boys
big of a
grown
fan.
up, like they actually got the real guy to be back, which is actually pretty cool. But I don't think I liked it. I don't remember.
I think that was actually the best part of the movie, that they got that little boy to come back.
That was the
play
only
and, like,
good part.
You know.
Billy Bob Thornton didn't either write or direct this. So
Okay,
it is less special in my mind now. Well, Craig, do you have another one? Do you want, or should we move into?
I will mention the last handful without really going in depth on one. I think that everyone should enjoy watching It's a Wonderful Life. It's one of those things that I think a lot of people don't watch because everyone knows, like they all know Jimmy Stewart running down the street, "Merry Christmas, movie house." Like but everyone knows like the big deal, and every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Like they see that in Christmas Vacation, they're like, okay, I got the gist of the movie. It's all fine, but it really is. It's a special movie, so don't watch it on TV when they have like 1,400 commercial breaks.
Oh my gosh, it takes forever to get through on TV.
Yeah, don't get a DVD or Blu-ray of it and watch it all in one sitting in an easy to digest way, and it's perfect for that. There's other ones that I think is on like the Disney side. I know they at least started last year or 2 years ago trying to show Mary Poppins around the holiday time, I think, because
I remember
it has that magical side to it. So I think that's a good one. And with Mary Poppins Returns coming out this Christmas season, probably another good one to watch. They always show Sound of Music right around Christmas time as well, too. And not Do-Re-Mi. Why did I go straight to that? My Favorite Things has ended up becoming a Christmas song for some reason, which I've never understood because of that. But ultimately, the last one that I have to watch every season is Love Actually.
Oh, that's the one we were just about to mention that before we go.
I do love that movie.
See, that movie for me, it's not just a Christmas movie. It definitely is a Christmas movie. The way that movie even came into my life is really nice too. It was somebody who worked for me at Borders, just randomly one day walked up. She handed me the DVD and the CD and was like, "I just really like to give this to people as people that are important to me. I like to make sure that they've seen this movie and that they enjoyed the soundtrack, and you're important to me, and I wanted to give this." And I was like, "You can make me cry." And so like I still have that CD because I kept it because of that. But this movie's one of those movies that just flows together so well. And when we get to Christmas music, Billy Mack's "Christmas Is All Around Us" is one that is in my actual playlist. That would be the song that Bill Nye's singing at the opening of the movie. That is just one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah.
But
so
Tyler needs to watch it now.
If you hate movies like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, everything Gary Marshall stole after Richard Curtis was actually like successful at this, you have Love Actually to like. I feel like it's the juggernaut that really kicked off. Let's do compilation movies around the holidays with a lot of people and a lot of intertwining stories, and it's perfect. Every single actor you've ever wanted to be in a movie that's British for the most part is in
and
this.
they're all at their
Laura
like
Linney.
peak peak charmingness. Well, with the exception of the late great
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great in the movie and funny, but his character takes a turn there. But that scene where oh my gosh, who plays the wife?
Emma
Emma Thompson.
Yeah, Emma
Thank you.
Thompson, when she's listening to the Joni Mitchell song in the room, and she's just sitting there, and like that scene in that movie is so good. There are a lot of really good moments in that movie, and it is about love, period. So that's why I think about, like, I could watch that any time of the year, but that's a good movie, period, because of that. But it's definitely a great Christmas movie.
Around the holidays, it's the time you should watch it, because you need to remember that, no matter what differences we all have, we usually use the holidays to come together and just find reasons to be nice and thankful and gracious to one another. And that's ultimately the end of the movie, is about loving each other, regardless of any differences.
And you can see how old Andrew Lincoln actually has gotten from being on The Walking Dead and living in Georgia. So, yeah, I love you on this Christmas. But I'm going to just throw out another one that I enjoy to watch around this time. And I know it is not Christmas. It takes place at Christmas, but I really like Die Hard.
I was going to say that too.
I think we were all like thinking the same thing, that we needed to mention Die Hard.
Yeah.
We just watched it for our Christmas movie to kick off the Christmas season.
Yeah, it's a good kickoff movie, I think. It's good. Like, you don't need to watch it on Christmas maybe, but it's like, I don't know, it's that fun holiday party, and again, Alan Rickman and you know, Bruce Willis at his best, and it's just
the music has like jingle bells in it and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like it really, the score is like fitting of the Christmas season.
It's very Christmassy. So it's usually people that have never seen it before kind of dismiss it like, no, I mean, Die Hard, Bruce Willis, it's fine. I've seen this. I've seen the second one. It's fine. Airplane, airport, Christmas time. It's all good. But no, it really is. Christmas runs through the entire movie, and kind of like Gremlins in that way.
And now he has a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
I think it's cool that a lot of the ones that we've mentioned are not like, like the family going to the Christmas tree type of movies. It's like Christmas is definitely part of the movie, but there's also like a totally different,
unconventional Christmas movies.
Exactly.
They're not they become unconventionally conventional, I guess. I don't know, but I would be, well, since we've mentioned everything, I would be upset with myself if we didn't throw the Jim Carrey Grinch in here, because Craig hates it so much. Yeah. But I do like watching it. I remember going to see it in the movie theaters while I was like in high school, and just I think I've grown up, and like my parents are divorced, and whenever we would go over to my dad's house, like he would always rent Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber. So like there are celebrities that are very specifically remind me of this part of my life, which is like Jim Carrey, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, for an unfortunate like amount of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that I've seen.
I know you love Street Fighter.
Yeah, well, but for Jim Carrey, feels like specifically he's like a little member of my family. So when the fact that he has like a Christmas movie out there that he's been in, that's why I like that one even more so than, But, well, let's talk about some, it's not just movies for us. We also, I myself, when we don't have enough time, or you're just trying to decorate and you can't pay attention, I like to put on some like shorter form entertainment, not just music, like TV specials and stuff. I, for one, really enjoy the Christmas episodes of The Office. Specifically, one of my favorites is their first Christmas episode, which is the one, Christmas Party, where Michael buys the iPod when they had the $20 limit on that. And that year, I got an iPod for Christmas, which was crazy.
Well, and then like Jim has the special teapot that he made specifically for Pam, and he's like trying to get it back no matter what he can do.
Yeah.
Most Office fans know it as Yankee Swap, because that's the game that they're playing.
But the name of the episode is Christmas Party.
Yeah, but
Season 2, episode 10.
If you were talking to someone and you said, "Oh, what's your favorite Christmas episode of The Office?" you would probably say, "Oh, Yankee Swap."
Yeah,
because that's the
elephant.
whole
They
point.
call it elephant something, in that White Elephant, I think, too, or something. Yeah, because they give it a couple names, and they're like
White Elephant's when you give a bad gift and someone intentionally gets a gag gift.
I don't like those kinds of games for presents.
Well, that was the whole point on The Office, is that it wasn't supposed to be like that. But
I like the clumped up Creed like shirt too. This
looks like when Jim's wearing it, he's like, this looks like he forgot what he was doing and grabbed the first shirt he saw and it guts to him. He's like, that's exactly what I did.
Sweet teapot.
I will jump in on The Office, though, because if you know my love of Krampus and German holiday traditions, my favorite of the Office episodes is when Dwight shows up as the Belschnickel. So
Yes.
impish or admirable.
That's Dwight Christmas is the name of that. Yeah, that's from season 9, and that for me. That's actually a highlight in that season because it is not one of my favorite seasons. But when he's whipping Jim with the sticks,
It is 9.
I too am gonna jump on the Office train for for Christmas specials. My favorite is the Secret Santa episode where Phyllis wants to be Santa, and then Michael gets really mad about that, so he dresses up like Santa too. And then finally he has Kevin sit on his lap.
She's like, oh god,
And he's like, oh god, and he's like, and then Kevin can't decide what he wants for Christmas, so he's taking
Just
like
say
way
toys.
too long.
Just say toys.
The best part about that scene too is seeing all the other actors trying not to laugh. And if you've ever seen any of the Office bloopers, they did like 10 takes of it because they couldn't get through.
See, the crescendo of that joke in that episode is when Michael turns the Santa outfit inside out and pulls the beard down and says something about blah blah blah, and he comes out as Jesus, and people are just like, what? It was a pretty good. Oh, that wasn't that was. I'm sorry. Season 9 was Craig's episode. I had yours for a second. Yours
think
is
it's
season
season
6.
6.
Yeah.
I have a lot of other TV shows.
But
if we want to go,
well,
basically anything that was on ABC in the 90s had produced some great episodes. I already mentioned
Home Improvement
did a whole bunch. There's a couple decent Boy Meets World ones. I was never a huge fan of the Full House ones. Like I think the first one they did was when they were stuck in the airport overnight and they didn't know if Santa would find them. And
that's when like Jesse and Aunt Becky were like, romancing it up.
It was probably the second one, yeah, because that's Becky was on the way to her ski weekend in Nebraska, and they were traveling as well too. But yeah, there's just anything from that time period. They always made really endearing Christmas episodes. Family Matters basically did one every year, and it was always like super sentimental.
Yeah,
I love South Park Christmas. It's Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo. That. A phenomenon from that. It's incredible. It still makes me laugh to this very day. I think I love Christmas movies, but I think I like Christmas TV more.
Well, you know what? I really liked the episode of The Simpsons where Bart steals the video game at Christmas, and I always think about how they put the marshmallow in the hot chocolate and it fills up the cup and they dump it out and then he just like eats it like that. Like every time I go to put marshmallow in my hot chocolate, that's what I always think about that. What's great too is about the ones Craig just said, they added a lot of those shows to Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can pretty much watch all those. And they did it for Halloween, so I'm hoping they do it for Christmas. They actually create a playlist and it'll have all those things in it. They called it Huluween.
Well, they did not do that this year.
Yes, they
For
did.
what?
They had Huluween.
Yes,
they had
did.
Huluween, but 2 years ago they had literally broken down only the Christmas episodes.
Oh.
Only those, not just like showing random movies and stuff. So they didn't bring that back, even though I started a very
Well, we don't know if they're
minimal-
not going to bring it back
Well,
yet.
they didn't bring it back for Halloween, so I doubt it's going to happen.
I was
for
like, they had
Christmas.
Huluween, but like,
Yeah.
I really like, and this is on Hulu as well, is if anybody watched Community, and if you didn't watch Community, I still think you can watch this episode of the show, is that in the second season, they did a claymation episode called Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. And I watch it now like every year because I am still blown away by like, it's a really good, the whole idea of Community is they kind of like spoof formats of things. And this is a spoof on that claymation format, but it's very successful in its spoof too. So it in of itself is an excellent claymation special, but it also fits within the show so well. And it kind of blows my mind every time I watch it. And I think it's really cool because you're like, well, how can they all be claymation characters? But it's only Abed sees the world as claymation characters and everybody else still sees it normal. So there's a lot of like funny throwaway lines that have to do with that. And I don't know, it just makes me laugh. Really
it's also
hard.
a good episode because it's teaching Abed what the meaning of Christmas is.
Yeah.
So it's like very like, it's not side Christmas story. It's like straight up.
Well, my favorite part about that is how religious Shirley is. And so like every time he's like says something, Shirley be like, what the? Like, you know, like, so I don't know. What about you guys? You got any Christmas TV you like?
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I know it's kind of a movie, but Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Oh, I mean, love
it's
Mickey's
like
Christmas
26
Carol. Yeah.
minutes long, but this is like the only way you're able to see. I think Mickey and Minnie have like little baby mice children,
Yeah, and you're like,
except for Tiny Tim, but
or like, are they their kids or who are they?
I know it's kind of weird to see because you're like, I can't imagine them with kids. But anyway, it's still really nice. I put up my tree like November 1st, and I have like little ornaments from that movie. So I have with like Goofy and stuff as like what's the guy's name? Oh my
Bob
gosh.
Cratchit.
No.
Yeah,
Is it
Goofy
Bob
was
Cratchit?
was Bob Cratchit.
Oh, okay. Then him as like the ghost and stuff.
Yeah, because he had all the
them.
Bob Cratchit because he had all the chains on and everything. You know who terrifies
Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
Yeah, and
Bob Cratchit
was Mickey Mouse.
is Mickey Mouse. Sorry, yeah, I always get them mixed up.
I wasn't paying attention. Are there any other characters we need to go over?
Well, I like Pete was the ghost of Christmas Future, right?
He was the ghost of Christmas Future.
Yeah,
Goofy was Marley. And it
Can't get through the door.
The giant was the ghost of Christmas Present, and then Jiminy Cricket was
That's right. I couldn't remember the other
ghost of Christmas Past. And
the end of that movie scares. So when I was a kid, it like cut out in a weird part for some reason. My VHS, we had these troubles as children in the 90s. Was when like Pete's like pointing to the grave and like the fiery pit opens.
Scary.
And I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Like I am uncomfortable. But then like somehow my VHS tracking got messed up and then it would like jump forward and it'd be like, oh, thank God he's alive. Like he's okay. He survived this.
Oh my gosh.
I used to think movies would change though. If you kept watching them, I used to think the ending could be different. That's why Gremlins used to also scare me. I used to think that Spike was going to murder Billy every time I watched that movie. And I'm like, I can't watch this part. He's going to kill him this time.
So are we going to ramble off other specials? Like
Rudolph.
Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph?
Well, I think for me, Rudolph takes top priority here. And what I love about Rudolph is how you can see that it is definitely, it's thick with that of the time 50s attitude in that movie. Or did it come out in the 50s? 60s. Where like that elf is clearly a homosexual, like, and it is a veiled, like, you know, that elf's going on a journey and everything like that, and like the way that Santa Claus treats everybody in that movie, you're like, this guy's not so nice after all. And there's a lot of like, it makes me laugh, and I hate how mean the adults are to Rudolph, but it all works out when they need to use him for his ability, but whatever. But it's one of those like, it's classic. I still really love to watch it. It's weird how like you watch something as a kid and certain voices can get like ingrained in your skull.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you can always hear Rudolph or Donner's voice or Santa, and like plus Burl Ives singing Holly Jolly Christmas is like the best thing in the entire world.
For me, that just art style is just the most phenomenal thing about it.
Yeah.
Like I just love how everything looks. There's nothing that they did in a way that I disagreed with. And just to think about how much time it must have taken them to do all the stop motion back before they had all this technology.
It's not as great as you think it is when you watch it now.
No. I know it's all jerky and ragged and everything, but I still think it's great. I mean, all animation has improved over time. So
I've read quite a bit about this movie too, because I've been fascinated about that. If you do appreciate that as well, I do think it's worth a Google search of like kind of seeing how this company that made these Christmas specials did that. My favorite line in that movie, real quick though, that makes me laugh really hard every time is when he's like, oh my God, the big guy with the beard, Cornelius. Mm-hmm. When he's like, this fog is as thick as peanut butter, and the elf's like, I think you mean pea soup, and he's like, you eat what you like. What?
Banging the table.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yell at Steve for it.
I know.
Yep. I'm over here watching your paws.
I just want this to all be like a silicone cushion on here, and he's just like, you eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like, and I don't know why, but I don't know. It tickles me just the right way. Yeah,
like peanut butter.
You did. You did. Yeah. What about you, Craig? You said Frosty.
I like Frosty. I like Rudolph. I don't have the same appreciation you clearly do for it, but it's definitely should be watched every year.
Yeah.
Also, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas is the quintessential Christmas special.
The song
of any.
from that. I mean, I know there's a lot of songs from it, but the one specifically that I don't know the title.
Linus and Lucy.
Yeah.
Right.
I also just quick mention to those claymation characters. If you're in Orlando and you go to SeaWorld, you can meet them in the Christmas season.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I also really enjoy I think it's Year Without Santa Claus.
There's that one. There's Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
That one too. I like that one. That's the one foot in front of the other. That one.
Yeah. Yeah, they Rankin Bass did a whole lot. They produced Frosty too, so that's why it has that same whimsy to it. Just Frosty went animated on it. So to bring it back to Disney too, I think there's so many Disney Christmas shorts that are out there. Besides Mickey's Christmas Carol, that was a theatrical short, but then you have a couple silly symphonies that featured Santa Claus. You have a lot of the winter ones that would with Chip and Dale, and Mickey got involved too with Pluto. I think the one's Pluto's Christmas Tree. Like there's so many good Disney Christmas shorts out there that you can watch. That there are plenty of them on YouTube. I believe they just recently released Olaf's Frozen Adventure on Blu-ray in a set, and it has a whole bunch of them attached to that. Mickey's Christmas Carol, that Blu-ray has a whole bunch of them on that too, so you can kind of get a little bit of a taste of them too. So
speaking of YouTube, Tyler actually has a thing that he likes from YouTube.
So, well, it wasn't exactly from YouTube. It was on television, but now you can watch it on YouTube, and So, if you've watched any of my vlogs or anything, you've probably seen me wear Aquabats T-shirts or a hat before.
That's all he owns.
No,
Yeah,
well, that's what I've heard, but that's actually not true. I actually own a lot more Disney stuff than Aquabat stuff. But anyway, we'll get into that another day. The Aquabats they've been around for about 20 years now, and they're basically a rock and roll band mixed with Power Rangers mixed with superheroes. Like, it's kind of all those things combined. And they've done a lot of music, like I said, for 20 years. You can go and find all their music on Apple, any of the music services you use. It's all around. And then they actually were lucky enough to get a chance to make their own TV show a few years back. Well, it's been like 5 years now, I think. When the Hub was around, the Hub had My Little Pony on it and stuff like that. Anyway, the Aquabats, they have a Christmas special, and it's them coming to a town. I love Christmas, and they come to a town where Christmas is not to be spoken about. And it is like a bad word. You cannot speak of Christmas. And they find out that Krampus is actually leading the town. He's the one in charge of town. So the whole thing is about getting Santa Claus to come and help them fight Krampus away. And for me, I'm a huge fan of the Aquabats, obviously, but to me, it's goofy, it's heartwarming, and I love watching it. So
you're just making me realize we should have mentioned Krampus too.
Well, I know, I thought about that, but we were already on to TV shows. But I mean, Krampus was so great that it even had a Halloween Horror Nights house for a year there, and Krampus. I mean, that movie was just like, it was the right blend of like really goofy but also scary. You know.
Yeah. So. Katrina, did you have another one? I felt like you were trying to say another one.
For what? For the movies? Oh, A Nightmare Before Christmas? That's always a Christmas movie, too.
I know. We have that. Craig believes you can only watch that movie one day a year, and that day is November 1st.
No, you can only watch it starting November 1st. I don't believe it is a Halloween movie because it takes place starting on Halloween is over, and they just wrapped up all their Halloween stuff, and now Jack stumbles upon Christmas Town and wants to also take over Christmas.
I mean, I agree. It is a Christmas movie with a Halloween aesthetic. The message and setup is a Christmas movie.
I mean, it mostly takes place in Halloween Town.
I know, but that's the thing. That's the aesthetic. It's about, but like a Christmas movie is all about like learning the meaning of the blah 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 blah. The whole like, you come back around and like, I don't
think Jack really learns much. I feel like he messes up and then he goes, who cares? He sings himself a song about being how great he is.
I do think about Jack's lament when he's like, whatever. I messed up. Who cares? I'm better at the other job anyways. He's like, I like that job better. Well, before we wrap this up, I thought it would be fun if we just talked about music real quick. We're not going to give like lists of our favorite, but I'm curious what everybody's like must hear. Number one Christmas song is. Steve, go.
I like the Hogwarts at Christmas song.
Okay, good one. John Williams. Katrina.
Probably Bing Crosby. Anything Bing Crosby sings, pretty much this whole album.
Tyler.
I mean, I love Mannheim Steamroller stuff because my parents always used to listen to it.
Are you going to go watch them at Universal while you're here?
No, I'm not going to deal with that crowd and everything. It's not.
Doesn't love them that much.
You're right. And then, but the one that I really want to mention is Mary's Boy Child, but the Living Strings version, which came out.
That's not the Mary. Did you know?
No,
okay.
It's not.
A long time ago in Bethlehem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I like the Living.
Hear the angels sing. Sorry.
Yeah, he's just staring at me creepily while he does this.
The maintain eye contact is the best part.
But I love the Living Strings version because it is like an orchestrated version. And actually, I found out about this song by going to the Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. So if you're walking around the oh my gosh, the World Showcase, then you can find it, and that's where I first heard it, and I love it.
I thought these were short recaps.
Craig.
Well, they are. Well, no, we had 5 minutes to do the recap.
I'm just teasing. So, you looked at me like you're like, how dare you?
Wait till the cameras turn off, Steve.
Look at this guy over here. Pause. Talking about my Christmas pause. Talking about your recap.
I gave Rhino the 9-minute cue, and he just like went from 9 minutes down to like 30 seconds out of nowhere.
We only have.
We currently have 5 minutes left. So I'm not going to stretch it out, though, with mine. I already mentioned that Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is probably my absolute favorite Christmas song, the Judy Garland version, but I also do love Mel Torme and Frank Sinatra singing it. They bring something to it. I'm with Katrina. I have to hear Bing Crosby sing White Christmas at some point. Perry Como, There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays.
I said you get one.
I was like, we're listing off Christmas songs now? Okay, let's start.
Yeah.
That is where I get it, because down in Florida, there's no way to get that Christmas feeling. So I hear that song, and it's basically like a kick in the stomach saying, no, you're right. There is no place like home for the holidays. And then since I didn't talk about it during the regular show, Muppet Christmas Carol, One More Sleep Till Christmas is like one of the quintessential Christmas songs.
That is a good one.
Okay, mine, Last Christmas by Wham.
Boo.
Craig's least favorite Christmas song. Actually, it might be his second least favorite. However, it reminds me of my best friend, and we used to sing it like kind of to each other, sort of a thing. She's still with us. I'm talking about her in the past tense, but and it like. I remember when we like heard it the first time, and I had just gotten my license, and it, I had kind of heard it before, but it became like really special because that was the song we always had to hear in my car around Christmas, and I remember always being like freezing because the heat didn't work, listening to this song with her, and then obviously All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey, because I'm that kind of a person.
Jingle Bell Rock.
I am obsessed with Kelly Clarkson's Christmas song "Underneath the Tree" this year, though.
Yeah.
It just makes my shoulders want to do this.
If you go to Universal in Hollywood, they play it during Grinchmas at the end of the show, and so every time I hear that song, it always reminds me of Universal.
I think my all-time you want me to pick a real Christmas song, "Darlene Love." Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. It makes me sad when I hear it, that Christmas sadness where you're like, I wish I was with my mother right now in Massachusetts. So when I'm not there, this song is like it's like my ringtone on my phone and everything for the holiday season.
And that needs to be a shameless plug for the whole Christmas gift from Phil Spector. That is probably hands down the best holiday album that you will ever find from start to finish. And I love Bing Crosby's White Christmas album, but this, like every single song, it just has that 60s feel to it. I mean, it was recorded in the 60s, and it's perfect. So if you've never listened to it, songs like Darlene Love, because she sings a handful of them. The Ronettes are on there too. Basically, if you're like, I remember that Christmas song sung by ladies back in the 60s, it's probably from that album.
Is Brenda Lee in there? Did you just say Brenda Lee? Okay.
No.
Well, if you do want some suggestions, I'm sure we'd happily tell you on Twitter and stuff like that. But the John Legend's Christmas album I'm enjoying and stuff. Michael Bublé's was a great one too.
Michael Bublé.
Can I do one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, everyone else will probably hate this, and I don't think it deserves a place on Main Street USA during Christmas season. But I love the NSYNC "Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays."
That's right. I like the Hanson one that you guys were mocking me for playing with earlier.
We're mocking you.
Not what Christmas means to me, my love. They sing that too. I mean, they sing the cover of it, but Great. Now I've forgotten the name of it. Great. Whatever. Anyway, Hanson
Anybody
has a
should
good
listen
Christmas
to
song.
"Oh Holy Night" by Faith Hill. I like that. That's like one of my good songs too.
Actually, any version of "Oh Holy Night," there's not
any
really
version
a
of
bad
"Oh Holy
one.
Night," except for like a pop version. Don't do it.
Do they make one?
The girl who
I
plays...
don't know, but I just
sure.
don't want them to do it.
Like Glee and stuff like that has... I think
They did
Rachel
a
sang
pop
it or something.
version?
No. I think she means like something that is like really, really poppy with it. Even the Glee
Yeah.
version, I believe that Rachel does. I think it is still like very soulful.
Don't like
in it.
teen Disney it. You know how they like redo like old classy like Disney songs and like they pop it out and stuff.
Speaking of Glee, though, the "Do You Hear What I Hear" that was sang by the kid who sang Pinball Wizard and the girl who plays Supergirl, that was phenomenal. Anyway, I don't know any of their names from the show because I did not like the show in the end that much. But so before we go, our final thing, what's your least favorite Christmas song that you hate hearing every year? Tyler. Wait, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Well, didn't I say? I said already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I think it's barely a Christmas song, but a lot of people have adopted it to be such. It is Linkin Park's "My December."
What a choice. Okay.
It's horrible. It's a horrible Christmas song.
Katrina?
What is it called? So This Is Christmas with Yoko Ono and yeah.
I can't deal with you.
I
The
know.
Celine Dion cover of that is phenomenal. Steve?
People love it, but it's the first song that comes on in my car when Michaela's in the car because her phone is "All I Want for Christmas" from Mariah Carey. It's a great song, but I hear it 365 days of the year because every
As
time
you should.
Well, it's a great song, but I don't need to hear it every day.
Craig, your least favorite?
Well, Steve's right. It is an awful song, and it deserves to be dug in a pit. And if I do one day get to control,
Christmas.
if I get to control the radio airwaves, I will eliminate from existence Wham's "Last Christmas." I hate it so much.
Oh, my goodness.
It is like I would rather crash my car to break my radio than ever have to listen to it again. And Taylor Swift's version of it is unbearable.
I don't like the Taylor Swift. I don't like any version of that song except the Wham version. So I want to make that clear.
Hate
And
'em
I
all.
like it because I know he's singing about a boy.
Stupid song.
So mine, I think, is Barbara Streisand's "Jingle Bells," and
You're
I
wrong.
know that it reminds you guys of the
Osbourne Lights.
Osbourne Lights and stuff. But it's like one of those songs where it just keeps picking up the pace so much that it feels psychotic to me.
It's
almost.
amazing. Just how fast she sings that song
It's
is
insane,
truly
but
amazing
it's
to
so
me.
cool to see when like
All right, Kevin Close.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see when it's like on the buildings. Like that's like the coolest part. That's like on crack. It's like a Christmas song on crack.
It doesn't do it for me without the lights. And with that said, that's it. We're done here. I hope everybody has. Thank you guys. I'm not saying that in a furious way. Thank you guys very much for having this conversation with me. Thank you all out there for watching this, and we hope you have a happy holiday season.